If you ever wonder why we talk about so many ninja games in this series, well, it's because a certain Ryu Hayabusa set the bar real high. The 1980s and 90s were filled with sword fights and shurikens, and thanks to Tecmo's Ninja Gaiden trilogy, a lot of these games had pretty great endings. Kaze Kiri Ninja Action is no exception. In fact, I would argue that this 1994 side-scrolling beat-em-up has one of the best ninja cinemas of all time. So turn back now if you don't want to know what happens next, because today we're going to spoil the story and endings for Kaze Kiri Ninja Action on the PC Engine. This is Game Over, the early years. With no dialogue and very little written text, Kaze Kiri would have normally been the type of side-scrolling action game that was fast-tracked for a Western release. Unfortunately, time was not on the hero's side. This game came out in Japan on April 28, 1994, which was a year after NEC decided to give up on the struggling TurboGrafx-CD and Turbo Duo. The PC Engine CD-ROM 2 may have had some juice left over in Japan, but here in the West, we were already looking forward to the impending 32-bit war. But that's a shame, because you can tell that Kaze Kiri Ninja Action is gonna be memorable right from the opening cinema. Alright, so the woman who was kidnapped in this opening cinema was Shizuhime, who just happens to be the daughter of the powerful warlord Yoshikage. They fear that an evil ninja named Haye is behind all of this, so Yoshikage enlists Kaze Kiri to save the day. Why him, you may ask? Well, as it turns out, both Kaze and Haye trained under the same master, Genbu, so they're clearly rivals. Our hero starts out by invading the castle we saw in the cinema, but Haye isn't there. Kaze ends up beating up the samurai, who points him in the direction of this underground tunnel system. Unfortunately, what he neglects to say is that the tunnel is swarming with ninjas, so the whole thing ends up being a total bloodbath. The good news is that the tunnel leads us right to another castle. The bad news is that we need to fight off guys on kites before we can enter. Once inside, things go bad. Real bad. There are archers, swordsmen, and Morningstar-wielding foes, and that's all before you head downstairs and find the robot. And to make matters worse, Haye is nowhere to be found. And look, that's the theme throughout most of this game. We go to a location, and instead of finding Haye, we have to battle a tiger, a floating ninja, or this guy with an eagle. Seriously, who brings an eagle to a sword fight? Anyway, this guy turns out to be important because he was the one protecting Shizuhime from people like Kaze. With Eagle Dude out of the way, our hero is finally able to rescue the princess and see the ending. But not so fast, because Haya's second-in-command spoils the party. What, you didn't think it was gonna be that easy, did ya? So we kick his ass and we jump to the roof, which is where Haya has been hanging out this whole time. Oh, and would you look at that, there's even a full moon in the background. I'd say that the stage has been set for that epic clash we've all been waiting for. Now, these two may have had the same master, but Kaze clearly gets the upper hand, and we're treated to one of two different endings. Let's go ahead and start with the bad ending, where we're unable to save Shizuhime. Alright, well, that's sad. But hey, let's go ahead and pretend that that didn't even happen, because I think you're about to see that Kaze Kiri Ninja Action has a much happier ending in store for us. We go ahead and defeat Haya on that roof, and this is what happens next. Kaze Kiri is the perfect example of how a couple of great cinemas can improve a so-so action game. I mean, there are a lot of things that I would change about the gameplay, the bosses, and the level designs, but I'm never going to forget that shot of Kaze jumping off the roof through the fire and cradling Shizuhime. You know, I just love the look of these cinemas. The detailed pixel graphics are some of the best on the PC engine. Which makes it all that much more frustrating that we didn't get it over here. And best of all, these cinemas convey so much without saying a single word. I have a hunch that the early 1990s voice acting would have only gotten in the way. We know exactly what everybody is thinking, and the lack of dialogue keeps the pace snappy. And look, no offense to Ninja Gaiden, but flying away on a kite while the castle burns below is a whole lot cooler than watching some ancient temple crumble in the distance. Man, this is a great ending. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Game Over, the early years. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new episodes every week. Now here's the question I have for you. What ninja game has the best ending? So far, just in this series, we've covered Ninja Gaiden, Shadow of the Ninja, Ninja Warriors, a bunch of Shinobi games, Final Fight, Kabuki Quantum Fighter, Strider, and so many Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games. So, I'm hoping you have an opinion. If not, then maybe go and watch some of those episodes. I need the views. Feed me the views. In other news, we'll be back tomorrow with a review of Freak Out, Calamity TV show, so be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.